Costa Rica, land of rainforests, coffee, exotic animals, fabulous flora, and laid-back people. Hi, I'm Alan Smith, and welcome to beautiful Costa Rica. Now, not only are we here to absorb this gorgeous, lush landscape, but we're here to discover the proverbial fountain of youth. You see, Costa Ricans are known as ticos, and they have a longer life expectancy than other developed nations. And it's considered to be one of the happiest countries in the world. So you gotta ask yourself why. So let's find out. Pura Vida literally translates into the pure life. Now, this is actually the official mantra, if you will, of Costa Rica. Everyone embraces it. And it's really underscored by this idea of living peacefully, embracing nature, and really having great food and companionship. It's living life to the fullest without stress. And who can argue with that?
Costa Rica, Pura Vida, is like a language, you know. It's like you say Pura Vida for everything.
Pura Vida, everybody here, doesn't matter what's going on, you say hello, what's going on, Pura Vida, everything okay.
It's part of the culture, you know, to be happy, like everything.
Let's put it like this. Complain is considered bad education. So you always have to have a positive mind, whatever it is the situation you're going through. So Pura Vida is like, everything is perfecto. Your life, you know, the day, the weather, everything is excellent.
For me, like Costa Rica terms, Pura Vida mean like everything is okay. You know, like everything is okay, everything is fine. Doesn't matter. You might have a bad time, a bad day, and someone say hello to you, you're gonna tell them, man, everything is good, just one footstep at a time, you know.
You know, I'm a simple guy. Nice place to sleep, good food, and, you know, good job. That will make it. That will be Pura Vida.
And things work out, man. That's what I believe Pura Vida means, you know.
Now you'll find this interesting. The phrase actually comes from a 1956 Mexican movie called, guess what? Pura Vida. By 1970, the ticos had adopted it and made it their own. Along with its philosophical implications, Pura Vida can also be used as a greeting or to show appreciation. Of course, living well is directly connected to eating well. When you come to a market like this, the advantage is everything's fresh. And when it's fresh, it has a higher nutritional value, and it also tastes better. The other advantage of coming to a place like this is you can see the produce right out of the field, and you can connect to the farmers who are actually producing it. You know where your food's coming from. Here in one of the open-air markets in Heredia, just outside of San Jose in Costa Rica, it's a very active day. You see, all over the world, markets provide people with a communal meeting spot, a place to trade goods, as well as a place to share a little gossip.
Most Costa Ricans like to come to the market and get their fresh vegetables and fresh groceries and so forth.
Because it's nice. It's more like a culture, you know, and then you can find fresh things.
Well, anything that you're looking for, from vegetables, fruits, grains, you know, homemade food like you can see over here, because this is more Costa Rican style. The flavor is like when you eat in a grandma's house.
I guess probably Costa Rica people like to keep their traditions. At least here you can choose what you want. You can go around and check and you have different options, right? Here you find a little bit of everything. Then you can go around and check prices, and the best price is the best deal, you know.
Gracias. You know, visiting your local farmer's market is one of the best ways you can embrace your own form of Pura Vida. What's better than visiting your own local farmer's market and getting fresh food to eat or drink right from the farm?
We're here at the Little Rock Farmers Market. It's a gorgeous day and we're going to have a great turnout today.
I try to go to as many farmers markets as I can possibly go to. It's a pleasant experience to interact with people who grow the food, who love the food.
You know, you support people that are growing the produce. So I think people feel really good when they're able to help farmers and they're able to keep a small business person in business.
There are even vendors here that can give you recipes for some of these unusual things that you can see here at the farmers market today.
My family's older customers swap recipes with me and my wife, so it kind of is a community. There's nobody cutting each other's throat to sell that last tomato.
Happiness is connecting with my community every day. People are very friendly at the farmers market. This is what we all need to be doing to make it a better world. I grew up in a small town and we used to all interact with the people who sold us food.
You know, the more that we kind of look back at our grandparents and our great-grandparents and how they ate and, you know, the way that they raised gardens, and they had a different quality of life. You know, yeah, they had to work harder and their lives were different, but you didn't see all these cancers back then. You know, so I think that there's a lot to be said about that and a lot to, you know, that we need to look at and evaluate.
Modern studies continue to support the fact that drinking coffee can actually improve vascular function. Those who drink coffee tend to live a little longer. You see, Costa Rica has been producing coffee beans, well, since the late 1700s with global success. Now, what's interesting about this environment, it's perfect for growing coffee beans, mainly because of the climate and the volcanic soils that exist here. Forget about the idea of coffee being the best part of waking up. Coffee this fresh, it's the best part of any day.
Today we're going to learn everything about the coffee from the seed to the cup, step by step. It all starts with a little coffee seed like this one. And then 6 weeks later the seed germinates and we get this. 2 weeks later the parchment falls off and the first 2 leaves come out, the butterfly stage. And then when the coffee plant is about 4 months old, it's ready to be replanted into this plastic bag. Here we keep it in the bag for 1 year. After that we replant it in the fields and we have to wait 3 more years.
3 years?
Before it can produce coffee for the first time. The coffee never ripens at the same time, so the pickers, they have to return to the same plant like 5 times because they only pick the red ones, the ones that are ripe. Good quality coffee is hand-picked. In Costa Rica, we can only have Arabica by law since 1986 because of the quality. Arabica, it is known in the world because of the good quality. The coffee bean has 4 layers, 4 husks. The first one, it is the outer skin, the pulp, that is red when it's ripe. The second one, it is the mucilage or slime. The third one, it is the parchment, the hard layer that protects the bean. And the final layer, it is the silver cap. That one comes off when the coffee bean is roasted. And then we get 2 seeds. It's actually a seed, but the people call it beans, so let's call it beans. There are 2 beans in 1 fruit, but sometimes only one of the 2 seeds or beans get fertilized. When that happens, we get a round bean that we call pea berry. Only 5% is pea berry, and it's not only different in shape, but also different in flavor. It is sweeter and softer. So this is the coffee bean. This is how it looks like when it's ripe. It's red. And inside we get 2 seeds. And this, the pulp, comes back to the fields as compost at the end. This is the mucilage, the slime. If you taste it, it's sweet, actually.
It is sweet, yeah. Yeah.
There's a big tank. They fill it all the way to the top with water. Then they put the coffee inside. There we separate the good beans from the bad ones. The good beans are the big ones and heavy ones, so they sink. And the bad beans are the green ones, the dry ones, so they float. In that way we separate them. There are 5 peeling machines. We call them chancador. All this machinery was brought from London by the German family 120 years ago, and they still work. After peeling, we put the coffee in big fermentation tanks. There we remove the mucilage, the slippery stuff, by fermentation. Then the coffee is washed and is taken out to the patios for drying. There they spread the coffee on a thin layer, and every 45 minutes they rake it to turn it over from dawn to dusk for 5 sunny days. But sometimes the weather doesn't permit that because it's raining, so they have to dry the beans mechanically. It takes about 1 day for the beans to be dry. It's faster, but the best way is outside for 5 sunny days. We get more flavors, more oils outside. This is the roasting room. So what we do is that we take the beans like this, without the parchment. Then the coffee goes inside a rotating drum, and the flame is heating the drum, not the beans. Here you can see the different stages. Coffee with the parchment on, with the parchment off, the pea berry, and this is decaf. After roasting, he puts the coffee down there. That is for cooling down 10 minutes. Then ready for packaging, over there. Everything is done manually.
So Ronaldo, this coffee plantation, the way in which you all grow the coffee is kind of an example of Pura Vida, isn't it? Because of the harmony that's created here and really happiness, I think.
Yes, you can see that here, beside the coffee, we also have some bananas.
Yes, I see them.
They are very important. They work as windbreakers. Also, when we have many of them, we cut the stem and we lay them down like this one.
Like we see here.
Compost.
Okay, so it's composting and feeding the coffee plants.
Correct.
Of course, these stalks of the banana trees have a lot of water in them.
Yes.
So does that help as well?
Sure, in the dry season, well, the 60% of the stem is water. So it comes down to the roots and works as a natural irrigation system.
When these plants reach a point where they're no longer productive, what happens to the plants?
They cut the roots and they pull it out.
Right.
And they burn it in the ovens to dry the beans.
So
everything is Pura Vida, recycled.
Recycled, how wonderful, right. And so new plants are then planted in the place. So what's the lifetime?
30 years.
30
Here,
years.
30 years.
Yeah.
During that time, we will prune it 3 times. So that means that the coffee plant will be 10 years inactive. It will only produce 20 years, and that's it.
And then what about some of the trees that are used, because I know that the coffee likes a little bit of shade.
Yes, we have some mangoes, like lemons, sweet limes, avocado. Really good. The coffee needs about 4 hours of shade per day.
I see.
That is why we have them.
Really, it is beautiful the way it all works together. And you all use very little chemicals in the way of trying to manage the coffee.
Correct, correct. This company, they are Rainforest Alliance certified, which means that all the chemicals we use are eco-friendly.
Ronaldo, thank you so much for a wonderful tour. I feel completely caffeinated.
You're welcome, my pleasure. I'm glad you like it. Thank you for coming.
For me, Pura Vida is embodied in the garden. Places of beauty that are calm and close to nature do wonders for the soul by taking you out of the hustle and bustle. Literally stopping to smell the roses reduces stress, which is a large factor in health and overall happiness. One of the best places to relax among the flowers in Costa Rica is the Elsie Kinsler Botanical Garden. Part park, part conservancy, the gardens are home to thousands of species of plants, including all the native flora from around the country. Randall, this is such a beautiful place.
Yes, it's a big one place.
Well, you're very lucky to work here.
Yes, many people told me that because in this place I can hear the birds, also the river, and I don't feel any stress or any pressure.
Well, I'm very envious. You know, the whole idea of Pura Vida, I mean, this in a way sort of encapsulates it, doesn't it?
Yes, this place, if you want to have a Pura Vida time, you have to visit us. We got more than 2,000 different tropical plants.
2,000?
Yes, it's a lot.
That is a lot. That's quite a collection.
Yes, we try to get as much as we can.
So Randall, how large is this garden? The way you wind around through it, it feels like it's infinite.
The place is 9 hectares, but the interesting fact is that 20 years ago, this place was a coffee plantation.
Really?
Yes. So
terraced, just like a regular coffee plantation.
Yes. We took off all the coffee plants and start to bring all the tropical plants here. We are in a very good place for the plants. The plants grow fast.
They certainly have. It's hard to believe this garden's only 20 years old.
Yes.
How big were the palms when you started? Because they're huge.
20 years ago, those palms were like this size.
Right
now,
kidding.
We can climb it if we want.
It's the perfect environment for growing. I guess it's that volcanic soil and climate.
We are an ambiental project. So as ambiental project, we teach to the high schools and schools how grow the plants in an organic way. Also, we teach how to paint.
Oh, how wonderful. So students can come here and paint this paradise.
Yes, also we make for the seniors, we teach all the medicinal plants from the garden, and they enjoy it a lot.
I think that's fantastic that you have programs for seniors here. In fact, Costa Rica is well known for their population living longer.
The Costa Ricans live their life without stress. And if you get stress in Costa Rica, in 10 minutes you can go in a place like this.
Yeah, and immediately the stress goes down.
Many people say that Costa Rica is the happiest country of the world.
I have to say that all the people that I've met on this trip in Costa Rica have been very happy and joyful. So I think you're right. Along these trails in this beautiful rainforest, there are many species of trees. Some of them are very beneficial and some are downright tasty. I don't know if you'll recognize this tree or not, but I guarantee you love the byproduct from it. This is cacao, from which chocolate is made. Now, it's believed that chocolate came into existence over 2,000 years ago. It's native to Central America, and some believe that chocolate is actually good for us. Not only does it taste great, but it can enhance your longevity. So Juan, these are dried cacao beans.
Yes, the same way as they come from the farm.
The idea of chocolate goes way back. I mean, it has a rich history, doesn't it?
The Mayans and the Aztecs later used the cacao as a food.
So when you bring in these dried beans, what's the next step?
It's roasting, and after roasting is the shelling. And what you get from there is the mixed of cacao, which already tastes to chocolate.
I can smell it from here.
Yes.
It's marvelous. The way in which this crop is grown, the cacao can grow in among the native trees.
Exactly, and you need a canopy.
produces an amazing fruit.
The cacao pod has 40 to 50 cocoa beans in it, covered in white pulp with a sugar-based pulp, which is very tasty.
I have to say, all the talk about this chocolate is making me really hungry for some.
And I know that you like history as well.
Yes.
So let me show you a Mayan drink.
Mayan drink?
Mayan drink, a Mayan chocolate drink.
I would love that.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Alan. Carol is going to show us a Mayan drink.
Hi, Carol.
Hola, Alan.
And it's not only about a tasty drink that tastes very well, it's also because it's very good for the health.
Yes, because chocolate is well known for being good for you.
Exactly. It has a lot of antioxidants, it's a lot of health benefits. What Carol is doing is adding chocolate to water, in this case. Vanilla.
Vanilla, which is a native plant from Central America.
Central America. Chile.
Right.
Chile is a very nice addition that is mostly used by the Aztecs. And she will add honey and cinnamon. That was available for the Mayans and for the Aztecs.
Sure. And this recipe could go back, what, 2,000 years?
2,000 years ago.
So this is like the beginning of hot chocolate.
There it is.
Wonderful. Now, should we try it?
Thank you.
Yeah. That's marvelous. It's delicious. Thank you so much, Carol.
You're welcome.
And Juan, thank you for this history lesson. It's
Okay.
both delicious and healthy.
Thank you and welcome again.
Gracias. Well, you know, you don't have to live in a place as beautiful as Costa Rica to practice Pura Vida. You know, if Ponce de Leon had known that the key to longevity is really a life full of love, happiness, eating the right things, and a low-stress environment, he probably would have never left home. So the next time you're feeling a little stressed out, just remember Pura Vida. Until next time, I'm Alan Smith. Peaberry.
Peaberry.
Costa Rica, land of rainforests, big coffee. You see, Costa Ricans, or Chicos as they're called, Costa Ricans, or Ricos as they're